Welcome to Reality of the Rose with your host, Natalie Sprink.
Hey everyone, welcome to episode 196 of Reality of the Rose. I'm your host, Natalie Sprink. Welcome everyone again to today's episode. Today, it's just me, and this episode is going to be about some things I've been watching lately this past week, mainly this weekend. I was home by myself, and so I got into a true crime groove. I think because of The Unknown Number, and I watched that finally. And so, you know how that works with Instagram. And if you even mention it, then I was getting some true crime posts and recommendation posts on my Instagram. And so the algorithm was like, hey, you want to watch true crime? Well, then here you go. So I listened to Instagram and I watched quite a few this weekend. So I was going to go over a few of those with you. Pretty much all of them are very good watches. Some are a little different than others, but I'll get into that. And then I'm going to go over the Golden Bachelor women. Not going to really go into their Instagrams or anything like that. I don't know that that's worth it. I'm not going to go into who I think is going to win at this point. I'm not going to do that this time. I'm just going to kind of go over them. And I'm actually this time going to share my screen with you so that you can watch along with me as I go through them and see their pictures and all that. So if you're watching on Spotify, if you're on Spotify, you can watch on Spotify. But I mentioned this last episode. I am also on YouTube now. So the whole podcast is on YouTube. So you can watch the whole thing as well on there. Some more housekeeping. You know, if I'm getting any more followers by doing all these other platforms, I kind of cross my fingers. But if you would please subscribe or follow or like the podcast, if that's what it is, go follow my Instagram, go follow my TikTok. I'm Reality of the Rose on Instagram and TikTok. And if you watch me on Spotify, follow, please rate, please review. It means a lot to me. If you could just give me a quick rating, review, both depending on what platform you're listening on. It really, really helps me out a lot if you do that. Also, do not forget that I have merchandise on Etsy. Be calm, be strong, be kind, be grateful. I've got sweatshirts, I've got t-shirts, I've got some other t-shirts that say something other than that. I got Be Curious, I've got Be Unbothered. I've got to go check it out. I appreciate any love you give me in any form or fashion is, again, greatly, greatly appreciated. So that being all said, let us get into it. I actually first want to start with Love Thy Nader. So on the last episode, I talked about how I began watching it and how I was really liking it so far. I think I was only into episode 2 by the time I had the last episode. But I watched the whole thing since then. I think it's 8 episodes, if I'm not mistaken. And it is so good. I absolutely love it. I hope that they renew this ASAP. It's so good. I really, really like it a lot. To me, I really think I may like it even better than Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. It's just different. It's just about these sisters. It's not about a group of friends. It's not about, you're in the group, you're out of the group. She pissed me off. They're sisters, so they piss each other off, but then by the next day, they're fine. So, I guess it's kind of like the Kardashians in that respect, but it's just way different. I like it. I personally like it better than the Kardashians. Now, that being said, I haven't watched the Kardashians ever since they've been on Hulu. I've not watched them. But they're not so aggressively rich. You know, they're doing well. They live in New York. They all four sisters share an apartment. So they're just not to that level, at least yet. But it's mostly centered around Brooks, the oldest sister, but then they also are, you know, plenty of storyline around the other four sisters. And the four sisters are Sarah Jane, Mary Holland, and Grace Ann. Grace Ann, right? Grace Ann, is that right? uh anyway, so they're following sort of through their careers. They're following them as they go to events. They're like uh, Grace Ann is wanting to get into modeling more, but she has a boyfriend, so she travels with him a lot. So sometimes she's not available for modeling, and it's like her and her sister. So and Sarah Jane is also model, but she's younger, but she's been modeling longer and more often. So like her and Grace Ann kind of get into it sometimes because of Sarah Jane trying to give Grace Ann advice that she feels like she doesn't need. They also follow Mary Holland, also has a boyfriend who is a lord. He's from the UK, and they sort of follow their relationship a little bit. They definitely follow Brooks and Gleb and how they start together, and then as the show progresses, she finds out about his infidelity, and they show exactly when she finds out, and then they sort of show her and him going at it in the press, mainly him going at her. They have their parents on a lot. They travel down to Baton Rouge, is where they're from. And they're showing that. It just, I feel like I like it so much because I don't feel like they are super aware of the cameras. Either that, or I feel like they aren't I, they aren't acting any different in front of the cameras. I feel like they're being their authentic selves in front of the cameras with how they interact with each other, with how they interact with their parents, with stuff being authentically surprising to them. It's just really good. I really, really like the show. Also, they at the end they start getting into Brooks and her modeling. She's definitely the most, at this point, most successful of the four. She's been in Sports Illustrated. They do some really big campaigns. Like they're with they do campaigns with Juicy Couture. They do campaigns with MAC Cosmetics. They do campaigns with geez, who was it that they were doing? Brooks does a bunch while she's on the show. But they show them, I was going to say, they show Brooks at the end, and they address how much pressure there is on models, even to this day, about how they look and their body size and body type. Which, if you are a listener of the podcast, my friend Kelly, I interviewed her. She was a model back in the 90s, like late 80s, early 90s, and through the 90s. And she addressed that, you know, but back then we felt like, you know, the skinnier the better, and there was a lot of pressure to be a certain size. Well, it seems like things have changed a little bit and there's more body inclusivity, but it's very apparent that that is not a broad based, and that there's still a lot of pressure being put on models to be a certain size. And they address that with Brooks, and she does not sugarcoat it whatsoever. They have like footage of, I mean, she just addresses up front, like not wanting to eat and what they do prior to shoots. It's just super interesting and just real. I think that's just what I like about it, is they're real. They're funny. You can't help but like them all. I don't know. Really, really good. It's on Freeform, and it's also on Hulu now. So they release the episodes. I don't know how they released the episodes, because it seemed like all 8 episodes were out within like 2 or 3 weeks. So I don't exactly know how they released them all. It wasn't one a week. It was more than that. But they are all released at this point now, and they're all out. So you can watch it on Hulu if you like, or Freeform. But anyway, highly recommend that. Okay, now the true crime documentaries. Like, okay, first The Unknown Number. If you have not watched that, I feel like I was one of the last ones to watch it already. But if you have not watched it, it is on Netflix and it is really good. It is about these two kids who were a couple, a guy and a girl, who started getting these text messages from an unknown number. And the messages came in like around Halloween. And then and they were directed more at the girl, about like how the boyfriend, the guy, was going to break up with her, and how she was, she didn't deserve him, blah 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 blah. So whatever, they didn't really think that much of it. They ended, there was no more messages, and they didn't get any more messages till like 8 or 9 months later. And then the messages started coming in hardcore. They were getting, I'm not exactly sure if it was a group text or if this person was texting them individually and group texting. I'm not exactly sure. That wasn't completely and totally clear to me. But this person was texting them, started out with 5 or 6 messages a day, and then it was like 25 or 30 messages a day. And they got progressively aggressive and very sexually explicit. They were super mean in nature, especially to the girl. They were just relentless, and it was like telling her how worthless she was and how she was such a bitch, and using very, very explicit language. This went on for months and months. Then the messages. So finally, this couple, they break up, and then they started sending messages to this other girl that they thought that the guy was in a relationship with at that point. Anyway, I don't know if I'm explaining this very good, but the person who is the unknown number, they target other people. They, in the messages, they say things to lead everyone that knows about these text messages, to lead them to believe that it's someone else that's sending them. So everyone is trying to guess who's sending these, who's sending these, who's sending these. And like by the third, I think it's 3 episodes, by the 3rd episode, you learn who it is. And it's wild. Like, who it is just crazy, wild. I just can't. I can't still wrap my head around it. I can't wrap my head around it. But it is really, really good. It's a must-see. In relation to that one, there is a similar one. This one is older, but it's called Tall, Hot, Blonde. I'll put all of these in my show notes so that you don't have to remember them all. I'll put them in the show notes so you can refer back to it if you want to watch. But it's called Tall, Hot, Blonde. I could only find it for free on YouTube. So you just go to YouTube and put in Tall Hot Blonde and you can watch it free, but there are ads. So it is the same sort of premise, but this one is all online, and it's 2 different men who know each other and work at the same place, but are having an online relationship with this woman. And they think it's this woman the whole time. But then towards the end of the documentary, you learn who this person really is. And again, it's crazy. It's wild. What's so crazy about it is the buildup of it, and you thinking, oh, who could this be? Who could this be? Who would be sending messages like this? And then realizing who it really is. And I don't know, it's just mind blowing. So that's another good one. That one's on YouTube, like I said. So then I watched one called American Nightmare. This one is on Netflix, and it is also wild. I don't I don't know if some of these don't make national headlines because, they're only sort of making headlines in mostly the local newses. But this one, I don't, I feel like I maybe vaguely remember it because this one did make national headlines apparently, but it was, again, a little bit, I want to say like 2016, 17 that this one happened. But it's about a couple who were living together, and in the middle of the night, someone broke in. Some people, it was unclear, but broke in and tied them up and kidnapped the girl. And so, like, the way that this is set up is the first show, it's 3 episodes. The first one, sorry, I'm going to take this back. The unknown number is not episodes. It's just like a movie length. Like, it's just one show. It's just like one episode. I think I said the third episode, you find out who it is. Rephrase that to be at the end of the documentary, towards the end of the documentary, the last third of the documentary, you learned who it is. Okay. Anyway, so this one is 3 episodes. The first episode, you hear the guy's version. Then the second episode, you hear the girl's version. And then in the third episode, you learn what really happened. So, but the buildup is that the story that both the guy and the girl tell is so wild and so weirdly specific and bizarre as hell that it's almost unbelievable. So you're watching it and they seem like they're really specific, and you're thinking, well, how could they not be so specific if those things didn't really happen? But then people suspect that it's almost too specific, that it was all set up, maybe by him, maybe by her, maybe by both of them together. And so you don't know what to believe for sure. Like, you want to believe them, but it just, like, the things that the other people that are in the documentary, you think, okay, well, that is kind of weird. And did that really happen? And then other people start getting interjected into the documentary as well. And you start wondering, like, okay, well, that seems weird. So then in the third episode, you find out, like, what really happens, and it all kind of comes together at the end. But again, all these true crime, I guess you can say that about all of them, but they're wild. Like, I get so entrenched in them, and I can't miss like a second of it because I'm like, oh wait, that was a clue. Was that a clue? And so I have to listen very, very, very closely to these, and I'm just completely 100% entrenched in them. But anyway, that one's really good too. That's on Netflix. Then the other one on Netflix, and this one's older. I just have never watched it, and I heard about it a million times. It was popping up on my Netflix, like, whatever, For You page, or whatever you want to call it, my homepage. For a long time, I just never watched it, but it's the Tinder Swindler. And that one I decided to finally watch too. And that is so crazy. But that's more like a fraud one. It's about a woman who meets a guy on Tinder, and he leads her to believe that he is, XYZ guy. And then after they're dating for a while, he starts like asking her for money, but has like legitimate sounding reasons for needing this money. And she ends up giving him all this money, but he's scamming her. And so that's not a big secret about it. Obviously, Tinder Swindler, it's like self-explanatory, but what makes it so good is how good he is at scamming her. And then obviously, as you may suspect, it becomes to where he's not just scamming her, he's scamming all these other women and has a history of it. But it's the main girl, or the girl that starts out the documentary, finally decides, like, I'm not going to let him get away with it. And so she does like digging into him, and just by her own research ends up figuring out another woman that he has swindled or is in the middle of swindling and contacts her. And then there's like a third person. And so them all getting together and working together, they end up, they end up busting him finally. But it's the story. Like there's not really a spoiler, so to speak. The story is just how he gets away with it, how he does it, what he does with the money, how like just how he gets away with it. It's wild. It's so crazy that people do this, and it happens apparently all the time. In fact, this main girl that starts off the documentary now has her own series on Netflix called Love Con Revenge. And that just came out, I think, on September 5th. And you may have guessed it, I'm watching that now. So I'm currently about halfway through. I think that's about 6 episodes, and I believe I'm on episode 3. And what she does is, so she has sort of like made a name for herself by like being on the Tinder Swindler and busting this guy. So she has started her own. She got all these messages coming in from other women that have been swindled and defrauded by men, in general, just all these other men out there that just do this. Like there apparently is so many. It's so crazy to me. But she has selected certain women that stood out to her that have contacted her, and her and this private investigator go in and they try to help this woman find the guy and then turn him into authorities, because all these guys get away with it. And when these women call the police, individually, any of these cases don't seem like they're important enough to pursue, or these police departments don't have the resources to pursue every one of these cases. So they just tell them, it's a civil matter. And a lot of them just get forgotten. And these women get left high and dry with all this money taken from them. So anyway, I can't remember her name, Cecilia and this private investigator woman go in and they help like 3 or 4 different women try to catch the guy who swindled them. So that's really good too. That's another one that I would recommend. So both of those are on Netflix as well. Let's see. Oh yeah. Then the last one that I have for you today, I didn't have that much to do this weekend. And I was just like home by myself, as I said before. So I just had all this time to watch all these documentaries, and I love it. I love it. So then I heard about this other one called Goodnight, Sugar Babe. This one is, sorry, I've said this about every one of them, but this one, it was awful. Like it wasn't like mind blowing. Like there was such a odd twist, like a twist that you didn't expect, because you kind of knew what happens from the beginning. But let me tell you, is it layered? It is so layered. It takes place in Ohio, I believe, and this seems like it's quite a while ago. It seems kind of dated, and to be honest, the documentary itself seems like it was made on a low budget, but it's like so hard. It's really, really dark. I will say that it's really dark. The people who are in it are not good people to this day. A lot of them are members of gangs. They are, several of them, even in the documentary, the ones that are interviewed talk about being being Crips, and they are well, if I can just put it bluntly, they look like major white trash. All right, I'm just saying that. Nevertheless, what they do to this woman that is killed, this woman named Vera is the woman, and you learn that right away, was murdered by this family. And I say family because there were lots and lots of people involved, and there is a huge lead up to the murder. And this girl that is living with this family in this nasty house, and I swear to God, there must be 12 people living in this house. And very many of them are interviewed in this documentary, including the kingpin, who is the mom, who is who Sugar Babe is. Her name is Sherry. And she's in the documentary too. Literally, I don't think any of them have normal teeth. At least 95% of them are missing teeth. And 94% of that 95% have also just stubby black teeth. Like they are interesting people. Definitely have lived a hard life. Definitely have lived a life full of drugs. Still are, I'm sure. Definitely have lived sketchy, have done other sketchy things. But it's crazy, but it gets really dark. It gets graphic. It gets sometimes it's hard to watch and hard to listen to the descriptions of some of the stuff they did to this woman that they eventually murder. But some of it is wild. She becomes pregnant with Sugar Babe's son's child, but why and how she gets pregnant and what happens with that baby is crazy too. It's not episodes. It's just like one long-standing documentary. I'd say it's about 2 hours. This one too, I couldn't find anywhere except not for free, except for on YouTube. So again, you would just Google Goodnight Sugar Babe and it would come up. It's a documentary and but again, trigger warning, it's really dark. But it was fascinating to watch and just again, hard to believe this stuff happens in real life. It's wild to know this stuff happens in real life and it's not just a movie. All right. So that was a half hour of true crime and shows to watch. So you have this whole list you're welcome of shows to watch. Okay. All right. So now we are going to get into the Golden Bachelor women. This starts on the 24th of September. And yeah, I'll be interested. So first, I am going to, let's see, how do I share my screen here? Okay. Okay, so am I sharing my screen? Hang on a second. I have to, okay. Okay. All right, so now I'm sharing my screen. All right, so I am going to first read this about Mel Owens because I kind of, forget about him and who he is. So Mel Owens, the 66-year-old former NFL veteran turned lawyer, is gearing up to make his next big play as the second Golden Bachelor. He's born and raised in a close-knit Midwestern family in Detroit. Owens's athleticism shone through from an early age. After graduating from the University of Michigan, he was selected as the 9th overall pick in the 1981 NFL Draft by the LA Rams. Following his retirement from football, Owens transitioned into a career in law and moved to Orange County, California, dedicating himself to helping others, particularly those seeking justice for sports-related injuries. It was during this time that he met his first love, and together they had 2 sons. While life took an unexpected turn with the passing of his father and the end of his marriage, Owens channeled his energy into being the best father he could be, focusing on raising his sons and coaching their extracurricular sports teams, period. Now, after several years as a devoted dad, Owens is ready to rediscover a love rooted in the simple joys of companionship, sharing life's everyday moments, making plans for the future, and growing stronger together as a couple. As a Golden Bachelor, he's eager to meet someone who shares his vision and finally find that perfect teammate he's been waiting for in his golden years. Okay, so that's Mel Owens. And so if you don't remember, he had some controversy around him because he went on a football podcast, and fairly it was kind of a small podcast, but on it they talk football, but at the end they asked him about him being the Golden Bachelor, and they asked him about whether he got to have a say in the women that were selected for him. And he went on this sort of rant about how he doesn't want women with, fake hips and what else did he say? And wigs, I believe. Meaning, like, he doesn't want really old women. And then he specifically says if any of them are over 60, I'm kicking him off. Who knows? No one knows for sure. Did he never think that would make it to have publicity surrounding it? Did he think that people wouldn't pick up on this headline? I don't know. Was he joking, kind of? Was he being an asshole? That's what it sounds like to me. And apparently his wife his ex-wife is a bit younger than him. But so he made that bold statement, and I think that we are going to find out that none of them are under 60. So I'm curious, really curious, as to whether they address this, because some people were even speculating that they were going to have to find somebody new, because there was a lot of people upset by him saying this. This is the whole point of the Golden Bachelor. So if he doesn't even want women that are his age, what is the point of him being the Golden Bachelor, right? So there were some people that were calling for them to pick a new Golden Bachelor, but they did not do that. So here we are with him, and I'm very curious to see if this is addressed at the beginning or if they just fluff over it like it never happened. And what I'm worried about, if that happens, is that it's just going to be, he's going to pick a woman. He's not really going to be into her because she's too old for him, but he's going to do it for the sake of the show. And just like with Gary, within 3 months, they're going to be not a couple, and that I'm going to just be watching this show and I'm just going to not even be convinced by any of it because I know this about him. And so I'm really worried about that. And even if they address it, I'm worried that them addressing it, I'm not even going to believe. I'm just going to be like, well, obviously you're going to say that because we're filming the show and we're on the show. So I guess we'll really find out once this show ends and 6 months has passed to see if he stays with whoever he picks, if he picks anybody. So I'm a little bit already, and I think probably a lot of people feel the same way. I'm already a bit biased against him, just seeming like he feels like a dick. So we shall find out. So I'm a little anxious, like I said, to see how this is addressed. So let's look at the women and see, who's lined up here for him. So again, I'm going to share my screen with you. All right. So we are starting off here with, this is an alphabetical order. This is Alexandra. She is 67. Okay. It's very good for 67. I'm going to scroll down. Alexandra is from Miami, Florida. She's a luxury yacht sales representative. Says she's a proud single mother of 3 from Colombia. She says she's not retired from living or loving. Fun facts about her is she loves listening to Bob Marley and jogs 8 miles each morning. She roots for the Colombia national football team, and she proposed to her first husband. So that is Alexandra. Yes, I am on the AARP. If you're watching this, you are watching this, which I hope you are, you're seeing that I am on the AARP website. And I'm just saying, they had the best list of women. I went to the ABC one and you couldn't click on them. You couldn't click on them and look at their pictures or anything. And so this was just in the Google search. So yeah, it's on the AARP. Does it make sense? Okay. All right. So then we have Amy. This is Amy. She is 63. Amy is from Short Hills, New Jersey. She is a full-time mom. Now, she looks after her internet famous twin daughters and finds time to work out 2 hours a day. Damn. So I looked up to see if we could find out who her internet famous twin daughters are. And I didn't do a huge, deep dive on it, but from just a quick Google search, apparently we don't know, and she has not revealed who those internet famous twin daughters are. Whether we'll find that out on the show, remains to be seen. So fun facts are she makes the best potato pancakes. She loves pedicures despite the fact that she's insanely ticklish, and she says she has a built-in BS detector. So that is Amy. So I'm sure she'll have a killer body because she works out 2 hours a day. Now, next we have Andra, who is 77. Wow, she is 77. Damn. She's from Los Angeles and is a retired federal worker. A former government employee who cherishes her grandson. She's the twin sister of Sandra. Oh, cool. She's the twin sister of Sandra Mason from season 1 of The Golden Bachelor. Okay, now I definitely see that. Oh, that's wild. Okay, cool. All right, so she's Sandra's twin sister. That's cool. She has never been late paying a bill. She earned her master's degree at 61, and she considers herself a low-key adrenaline junkie. Wow, that's cool. All right. So it pays to have connections, right? Next, we have Carla. She is 62. She's really pretty. She's also from Los Angeles, and she's a former model. I can tell that. Carla is a full-time influencer who motivates women to live a happy, fulfilled life at any age, and she's ready to be madly in love. So I did not look her up. I'm curious, like, how many followers she has. Okay. Carla, she loves to read autobiographies. She went on a solo safari in Tanzania, and she is not a cat person. Next, we have Carol. She is 63. Okay, long blonde hair. She's from Villa Park, California. She is a sports manager. Says after raising her 3 daughters, she became the manager for her nephew, Los Angeles Dodgers first baseman Freddie Freeman. Don't know who that is, but cool. Fun facts are she drinks more Diet Coke than water. She recently returned to college. I now can get student and senior discounts, she says, and she's a skilled tambourine player. Okay, then we have Cheryl. This is Cheryl. She is 66. They must have said to all of them, wear silk or satin. She is from Inglewood, Colorado. She is retired from the IRS. It says she loves motorcycles, dirt roads, being outdoors, and caring for her family. And her fun facts are she has earned more than 50 motocross trophies. She's a terrible speller, and she loves everything about the 4th of July. Next, we have Cindy. Cindy is 60, so she's right on the cusp there for Mel. She's from Austin, Texas, and is a retired biomedical engineer. Jeez. She is living life to the fullest, hiking, paddleboarding, and enjoying everything Austin, Texas has to offer. Her fun facts are her signature cocktail is a green lizard, a recipe she invented. Making reservations is her superpower. And she dated Chuck Norris, who is 85. Holy cow. Okay. Wonder when she dated him, but we'll find out. Next, we have Debbie. She is 65. Debbie's from Denver, Colorado. She is a fitness professional. She considers herself an it girl, and she's a successful fitness instructor who has trained many celebrities. Okay. She has a healthy fear of heights. She was asked out on a date by Robert De Niro. It's unclear if she said yes. And she participated in the opening and closing ceremonies of the LA Olympics. Why does she consider herself an it girl? I don't like that. That turns me off. This here is Diane, and she is 71. She is from Wasilla, Alaska, and is a librarian. She's a proud mother of 2 and serves on the board of directors for 2 nonprofits, Kids Cupboard and Dolly Parton's Imagination Library. She loves to travel, explore the outdoors, and make everyone around her laugh. Fun facts are she dreams of being Dolly Parton for a day. She has not two, but 3 triathlons. And she finds eyelash inspiration from Twiggy, who is 75. What? That's weird. She dreams of being Dolly Parton for a day. Oh, because she has got the magic. Okay, whatever. These people are athletic. Holy crap. Well, Want they give one who's like, I love sitting on my ass watching true crime documentaries. I don't exercise. I'm too old. And I love chips and ice cream. Okay, Jerry is 64. Pretty. She's from Rockville, Maryland. She's a home care agency CEO. She's a kind-hearted woman who takes pride in her work and her role as a mother and grandmother. Okay, very good. This is what I like. It's not telling me that she works out 85 hours a day. Fun facts, she loves to fish. Her sidekick is her teacup Yorkie named Godiva, and she does not tell... Excuse me. She does not tolerate bad breath. Very good. Lily is 72. Wow, she does not look 72 either. She's from Pacific Palisades, California. She's a retired elementary school teacher. Lily loves dancing and being a mother. Her motto, there's someone out there for everyone. Her fun facts are she makes a fabulous jambalaya. She plays on a U.S. Tennis Association tennis team. Her biggest pet peeve is bad drivers. Okay, Lisa is 66. Wow, she's pretty. Okay, she is from Marion, Ohio. She's a state park employee. Lisa is a proud cat owner who loves raising her two daughters. Okay, nothing about like running 52 triathlons in the last 2 weeks. She's a bird nerd who always has her binoculars with her. She's a huge Swiftie, and she has never had a pedicure. Wow. Okay, this is Maya. She is 58. She's from Malibu, California, a college sports consultant. Maya is a dedicated mom and career woman who shares Mel's interest in sports. She's a competitive person who loves to play pickleball and take Pilates classes. Fun facts, if shopping were a sport, Maya would be a pro. Same. She dreams of seeing the Northern Lights, and all three of her kids played sports at Ivy League schools. Then we have Monica B. She is 62. She's from Huntsville, Alabama, and is a flight attendant. A grandmother of 4 who traveled for 40 years for her job. She's ready to settle down. Fun facts are she loves feeding the ducks with her granddaughter. She likes her white wine dry and her red full-bodied. And her happy place is Martha's Vineyard. Alrighty, so then we have Monica P., who is 60. She's from Birmingham, Alabama, and is a cosmetic dentist. She enjoys participating in karaoke, playing board games, and going to Pilates every day. Fun fact, she can ride a skateboard. In her opinion, the bigger the hair, the better. And she loves to crochet. Mylene is 61. She is also very pretty. Not that they're not all pretty, just the standouts for me. Hometown, Las Vegas, Nevada. She is a casino host, a world traveler who speaks 4 languages fluently. She works as a VIP host at Vegas's top casinos. Fun facts are she's a big Bruno Mars fan. She loves to rock a red lip, and skydiving is at the top of her bucket list. Nicole is 64. She also looks young. She doesn't look 64. She is from Miami Beach, Florida, a yoga instructor. I mean, come on. Whatever. Okay. She's a yoga instructor. She loves to travel, cook, paint, and bike to the beach. Fun fact, she went to culinary school. She's been vegan for 19 years, and she can do headstands and splits. Peg is 62. She also is from Las Vegas. She's a retired firefighter and bomb tech. Damn. She used to perform with the High Rollers, who is the official senior dance team of the Aces basketball team. Of course she did. Of course she did. She'll also be in Dancing with the Stars after this. Her favorite, fun fact, her favorite form of transportation is her unicycle. Okay. She is so happy bell bottoms are making a comeback, and she would love to play in the mud with baby elephants. That is very specific. Then we have Robin. She is 63. She's from Napa Valley, California. She is a wealth advisor and vineyard owner. She's a woman who worked her way up from humble beginnings. She believes in working hard for the things you want in life. And she says, seriously, I think I'm going to marry Mel. Fun facts are she's an avid tap dancer. She's an avid TV watcher. That's what mine would say. She loves Halloween, and she's a textbook Gemini. Roxanne is 62. Roxanne. Her hometown is Austin, Texas. She is a longevity nurse. Roxanne helps women over 50 care for their bodies and manage their health. Fun fact, she once sold everything and moved to Costa Rica without knowing anyone. She has participated in a pole dancing contest, and she won't go anywhere without a pair of cowboy boots. Okay. Susie is 62. She's from Del Mar, California. She is a realtor. She spent most of her life as a kindergarten teacher and loves motherhood, caring for her children, hiking, biking, and impromptu trips in a Sprinter van. Okay. Fun fact, she graduated from college summa cum laude as a 30-year-old mom. She loves walking her dog on the beach, and she is incredibly big on quality time. We have Terry. She is 71. She is. She's from Houston, Texas, and a cosmetic dentist. We have 2 cosmetic dentists? For real? Okay. Terry loves to live life and has traveled around the world. She even taught herself to be a ventriloquist at age 9. Fun fact, she studied zoology in college and loves nature photography. She has watched every single season of The Bachelor since its inception in 2002, and she did a below freezing polar plunge in Antarctica. Tracy, 62. Don't like the hat. Lafayette, Louisiana. She's an interior designer. She looks like she came right off of, what was that show called? Designing Women. Does anybody remember that show? She came right off of that show. A Southern belle who loves being a mother and a grandmother. She's partial to horse races, crawfish boils, offshore fishing, and college football games. Fun facts are she has more than 100 signature hats. Her style icon is Audrey Hepburn, and she dreams of writing a book. Okay, that was it. So I don't know how many that is, but that's who it is. So we got Tracy. One more look. Tracy. We got Terry. We got Susie. We got Roxanne. We got Robin. We got Peg. We got Nicole. We got Mylene. We have Monica P. Then we have Monica B. We have got Maya. We have got Lisa. Then is Lily. Jerry. Diane. She looks like a Diane. She just does. Debbie. We've got Cindy. We have got next Cheryl. Carol. Carla. She looks like a Carla too. Andra. We have Amy. And then lastly, we have Alexandra. So there you go. Yeah, those are the women. So we shall see. I guess I should have done this on the podcast next week, since that would be more fresh in our minds, but you can just listen to it again. So that's it for today. I appreciate everybody listening as usual. And as I said before, if you could go like, subscribe, follow, rate, review, please, please, please. It means so much to me. I really do appreciate it. And I'll be back at you next week. Not sure with what yet. You know me, I'm just freewheeling, just kind of, on a whim. I figure it out as I go along. So until next week, be calm, be strong, be kind, and be grateful. Bye.